financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is how to solve your tax problem. Brian Small, good morning.
Good morning, Ken. Pleasure to be here this morning.
Jeffrey Linden, good morning.
Good morning, Ken. Ready to go.
Jeffrey Kirshner.
Good morning. I still listen to the Beatles, and I do declare the pennies on both of my eyes.
I was going to say, very good. Very good. Can't, unfortunately, due to copyright infringement laws, we can't have that music playing in the background, but we would love to.
But we can imagine it. Wasn't Imagine also a Beatle?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that was
that's
John Lennon, but
Lennon.
thank you.
But I was trying to. I thought that was impressive.
That's okay.
All right.
Especially for somebody whose music taste leads back to Benny Goodman. So you're right. It was impressive.
I am guilty of being a Rat Pack fan. I'm more than happy to sit on the patio with Rat Pack music playing.
For those people who have no idea, that includes Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin.
Actually, and Joey Bishop.
Joey Bishop too. But he got thrown out of the Rat Pack.
Sammy Davis
Jr.
But add to that, in that era, you had Dean Martin. Right, we had Dean Martin. You had I had Lou Rawls. I had a number of people.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
sorry you lost me after that. Before my time.
It was before my time too. I still remember driving to college with a good friend of mine, and he would have hard rock on the phone, or on the radio, and I would switch to easy listening for Frank Sinatra.
So what you're saying is you were old before your time.
I think I had more mature approach to music than the rest of the world.
Old before his time.
He had better 8-tracks than everybody else.
Practical realities about tax problems.
And then, for those of you that don't know what an 8-track is, you have to Google it. We'll just go from there.
Everybody knows what an 8-track was.
Are you kidding? Show a kid a record today. They don't
What
even
came
know
after the 8-track?
What came after the 8-track?
Cassette.
The cassette.
You were expecting somebody to jump straight to the CDs, but we lived that.
I was just checking to make sure.
Now kids don't even know what a CD is, no less.
Actually, one of the funnier things is that the first Walkman, portable music thing was actually strapping an 8-track to your chest with major belt straps.
You know where you still see it? You see it in the movies in the 80s and the 90s. You'll see the Walkman pop in and so on and so forth. All right, practical realities about tax problems. One I want to throw out right at the beginning is, we all hear these commercials, and the commercials are designed to do two things.
Scare you?
Yes. They want to disturb you, and then they want to assure you that there's a solution. So they're always making the point that the IRS is going to take your home, garnish your wages, and do horrible things to you unless you take action.
Well,
do we agree with
with respect to those commercials, the IRS has the ability to take your home, take your wages, and do horrible things to you.
I'm not suggesting that the commercials are wrong. I'm just suggesting that they're playing you on that because they are trying to get you to do two things. To immediately call the number of the person who's giving you the commercial.
Yep.
You do need to take action. If you owe taxes or you haven't filed, you are in a vulnerable position. The most vulnerable is you've been assessed the taxes, you have regular wage income, or you have money in bank accounts, and you haven't done anything. You are what we call a sitting duck at that point if you have not done anything to protect yourself. If the money is in a bank account, why do they know about it? The easiest way they know about it is if you've paid them any money by sending them a check. Then they not only know where you bank, but they also know the bank account number, and it's very easy for them to send out a levy to the bank. They know where you work because of what is known as a W-2. The employer sends them a W-2 every year, so they know where to garnish your wages. So you are vulnerable, and you need to take action. The thing that you need to realize is that if you do take the action,
there's a solution.
There's a solution. It's not, you don't have, we're very clever and we know all of the ways to address the problem. But it's not because we're geniuses. It's because we're students. We're thorough. We're proper. There are known procedures to take to resolve these problems. And with the federal government, there is a long list of remedies that we have to protect you. But we can't use them unless you do something about it by coming to us and letting us do our job. And when you don't do anything, that's when you get stung. They levy your wages. They levy your bank account. And then you're in a crisis mode because there's no money in the bank account to pay any bills. Because they're going to take, how much of your paycheck will they take?
Oh, if you don't, they can take, it depends on what you make. They can leave you with only like $300 or $400 a paycheck max, unless you act. Because what they'll do is they default and they don't credit the things that you have to do to.
All right, let's be honest. They can take it all and leave you with pennies.
They don't leave you
but they don't leave you with enough to live on.
So then you're in the crisis mode and you have to address it. If you get in that mode, there's still a remedy. Yes. We can get the levies released. But you shouldn't allow yourself to get into that mode. You need to take action. What about, who's worse, the state of Michigan or Uncle Sam when it comes to taxes?
Clearly, no question.
Why is that?
Because their procedures are shorter and more demanding. Their interpretations and laws about the statute of limitations and liens are more draconian. They're relentless.
They suck. That's really what it is.
They're
terrible.
Really quick to garnish.
Let's take a break,
seize property.
And then we'll evaluate whether the state or the feds are worse.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
I was married for 57 years before my husband died.
Simasco Law had established a trust for them before this happened.
There's so much to do in the beginning, but after about a month, you're kind of alone.
We deal with estate planning and trusts every day.
If you continue to have good support and know that your finances and your estate is in order, that's one thing that's so comforting. I would just highly recommend Simasco Law.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
All right, so we're back. So I kind of left us hanging there with a smug as to who's worse, the feds or the state. The answer is, in Michigan, the state is the absolute worst. It's much easier to address a tax problem with the feds. We can still address the state, but when we have clients that have tax problems and we have to choose between who do we pay first and who do we negotiate with, what do?
We usually pay off the state first.
We pay off the state first because they're more difficult to deal with. And that's, so the feds have procedures, offer and compromise.
Offer and compromise, a variety of payment plans, a non-collectible status even.
CDP hearings.
CDP hearings,
What does
appeals to
CDP stand for?
Collection due process is what it stands for. And it's an appeal of a revenue officer or a collector's action. And so what it helps is it stops the negative activity and allows somebody with more experience to work out a resolution.
Now, did you say that they use a third-party vendor too? The state does a lot for their collections?
Yeah, so does the federal government on occasion. It's just the authority that they have is different. The state collecting agency can do everything the state does except answer substantive questions.
And once it gets to a third-party vendor from the state, those third-party vendors only have one job, is to collect. You can't negotiate with them.
And they don't have any authority to make any exceptions.
Their job is to get the most amount of money from you in the least amount of time.
Yeah. So, kind of going back to the beginning, what you have to realize is the system, both the federal system and the state system, from a collection standpoint, is designed intentionally to intimidate you.
Absolutely.
For this reason, clients come to say, well, can't I do it myself? And the answer is, you could do it yourself if you knew exactly what to do, all of the procedures that are there to protect you, because they won't tell you. You have to avail the remedies on your own. To do it yourself is virtually impossible, unless this is the business you're in. And even then, it's a mistake, because my classic example is this. If I owe the government money and I'm trying to negotiate a payment plan and I call them up, yes, Mr. Jones, yes, thank you. I owe the government $25,000. I'd like to get a payment plan. Oh, you want to know where I bank? Why is that? Oh, you need to know my bank account, the company I bank at, the bank, and my account number? Well, let me think. Oh, I can't remember where it is, Mr. Jones. I'll get back to you. I'm sorry. The point is, if they ask you where you bank and what your bank account number is, how can you tell them I don't know? But if they ask me as Mr. Jones, yes, this is Mr. Gross. I represent Mr. Linden.
He likes using the phone as a prop this week.
Yes, we want a payment plan. Yes. Where does Mr. Linden bank? I don't know, but I'll ask him. What do you need? You need his bank account and his. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that. I'll talk to him and I'll find out. Meantime, can we get a payment plan? What we're looking for is $100 a month. We can. Oh, great. Thank you. Put that in. Send it over. I'll have him sign it. We'll get the checks paid to you every month. Thank you very much. The whole point is, if you're the representative, you can answer what you want to answer. This is as an example. So what are our common problems? To me, I think, what's the most common problem?
Most unfiled returns. People just bury their head in the sand, they get behind, and they keep not filing their returns. Worst thing you can do.
Why is it the worst thing you can do?
Well, one, it's a criminal act to not file your tax return.
Is that the worst part of it?
No. The worst part is that if you need to file a bankruptcy, and income taxes are dischargeable in bankruptcy, if you haven't filed, the tax is non-dischargeable, period. If the IRS files a tax return for you called a substitute for return, the tax is never dischargeable. So the problem is that
That's a bankruptcy lawyer's perspective of what's bad. What's really bad is you immediately get charged 25% more of your tax.
you see, all right, so you say that's the worst
what
thing.
I had as number one.
See, for me, I look at it and say, as long as I can get rid of it, I don't care what the penalties
Right.
are.
Wait,
No, wait.
but wait, there's
Wait.
more.
I have something for
if
you.
you don't act now, you don't get credit towards your Social Security if you don't declare your taxes. So you lose out on that as well.
That's another one too.
Right.
Okay, SFR.
Substitute for return.
What does the S stand for? What does
Substitute.
the F stand for? I understand what the R stands for.
Stupid. Use your own F reason.
I wasn't going with stupid.
I'm going to just leave that one alone and try and be polite because I'm assuming we're going to get beeped otherwise.
It's very easy for a takeaway. And SFR is not a good thing because it takes away your ability to potentially file a bankruptcy.
Right.
And when they
That's correct.
issue an SFR,
Wait, I want to make sure you
how
understand.
many deductions do they give you on an SFR?
One standard
They
deduction.
give you one standard deduction.
I was going to say 0, but I'll take 1.
They don't
So-
give you the
so-
interest deduction on your house?
No. They don't give you dependent deductions if you have kids.
If you are reaching the point where the federal government is filing a tax return for you, that means you have buried your head in the sand for many, many years, and you have created a tremendously large problem. Instead of putting yourself in that position, when you get to the point where you're going, oh my God, I'm going to owe, I just won't file. And before you even think about doing that, just come in and see us. We can help you fix the problem.
But after you've already done that, still come in because we
We can
fix the problem.
still fix the
This is
problem.
how it happens. You filed all your returns up until this year, and then you're behind, you haven't paid, you're self-employed, you've got to gather the records, you've family issues going on, you haven't gotten to it, and you just didn't get the return done. You put it on an extension and you still didn't file. And then the following year comes, and now the anxiety is, I didn't do last year, I haven't gotten any notices from them from last year, and all of a sudden the second year doesn't get done. And then the third year doesn't get done. Your head is deep in the sand. The fourth year doesn't get done. And then we take a break.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We were just spinning. We just didn't know what was going to happen next.
At Samasco Law, we deal with these issues every day, especially elder law. Pat went to work for Fran.
Patrick was there holding my hand, kept saying, we'll get through this, we'll get through this.
He got her husband Medicaid and in a nursing home. Samasco Law got the success they deserved.
Samasco Law is definitely family to me. I really appreciate knowing all of you.
Time for announcements. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. Just call 888-235-HELP or go online and sign up. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business issues, elder law issues with Pat, disability issues with Jeff. Sign up at lawandreality.com or call 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-4357. Also, go online to our website to get our free reports. Resolving tax problems, the real solutions. Bankruptcy, is it right for me? How to save your home from foreclosure. Business formations, loans, and grants for small businesses in Detroit and Michigan. And the Retiree's Guide to Social Security. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Simaska Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Haven't filed a return in 4 years.
5
year
years,
comes in,
6
5
years, 10 years.
It happens because then you get behind, and then. But as the years go on, your ability to have restful sleep goes down because you know you haven't done this. They're going to catch up with you. It's criminal. If you're the son of a president, if you're an actor, a famous actor, if you're a public figure and you do this and they catch up with you, those are the people that go to jail. Okay? But you could go to jail too. You don't want to be, if you're a high income doctor, they're going to throw you in jail if they catch you not filing returns for 10 years. They very well might. But if you're a public figure, you're in big trouble. But either way, the penalties, the anxiety, it all goes away.
Theoretically,
the day you walk in and get counsel.
Theoretically, how soon could the government file a substitution for return?
You know,
anytime.
Anytime, if after you haven't filed them. But traditionally, what I've seen is it takes at least 2 to 3 years before they file a substitute for return, and it depends whether you're on their radar or not, too.
Right.
You know, if you're a regular W-2 employee that just hasn't filed your returns and you're making $75,000 a year, they're less likely to be filing an SFR than if they're getting $250,000 of income and you just decide not to file your taxes. The key here is acting, moving forward, getting yourself out of the problem. Just recognize that you've got to take a step forward, come see us, let us take care of it.
The worst part about it is this: income taxes are dischargeable in bankruptcy.
Eventually.
What are the 3 rules?
It's
What are
a
the-
3-year rule. Did the taxes come due at least 3 years ago? Have the taxes been filed for at least 2 years? And have you been assessed in the last 240 days? If the taxes came due at least 3 years ago, the taxes were filed, etc., then they become dischargeable in bankruptcy.
But if you have not filed the returns, you haven't even started that clock running. If
Right.
you end up with the government filing a substitute return for you, the clock never starts running because you've thrown away that opportunity.
Now, just for everybody that's out there, if they have filed SFRs, that doesn't mean that we can't deal with it. We can deal with it with an offer and compromise or other installment payment agreement, or we can address them in Chapter 13 to control them. We can't discharge them, but the bottom line is there are lots of tools out there to help you get back to being a compliant taxpayer.
I saw on TV, I heard on the radio 17,000 times, I can settle my taxes for pennies on the dollar.
True.
So if I owe $100,000 in taxes, and I have a house, married filing joint, I've got $300,000 equity in my house, I got a 401k with $200,000 in it, but I'm $100,000 behind on my taxes. Can I just settle? Can I call you, Jeff, and you, Brian, and settle that tax for $100 on the $100,000 I owe? Because if I do, I'm willing to pay you whatever you want.
No, the answer is no.
Well, they can call me.
They can call, but
So I can't do that
because
I
offers and
heard on
compromise-
the radio I can do that.
I understand.
Right.
Offers and compromise are predicated upon how much asset you have in the bank or otherwise own.
Well, it's simple. It's an offer and compromise is an analysis of your income versus expenses and the equity and the assets that you own. If you have equity and assets that's equal to or greater than what you owe the government, you're not
It
getting a
doesn't
deal.
work. So here's the point. All the commercials you hear make that sound so great, and it is. And we do offers and compromise all the time because it's very common for someone to come in where they have very little equity in their home, they have no 401k, they have no savings. In that case, you take your income less your allowed expenses, and that amount, which can be as little as $0 or $100, you can settle the tax, and it doesn't matter if you owe $10,000 or $1 million.
Right.
But if you have equity in the home and you have a 401k, they're going to take that money and make you pay it. And then the offer and compromise isn't a good solution. There's other solutions. What you need to know is don't be fooled by the commercial that then you call up and you're talking to a salesperson and he sucks you into a $7,500 credit card payment saying he's going to get you an offer and compromise when we know right off the bat you don't qualify because you got $100,000 in your IRA. You want to make sure you protect yourself and get the right counsel, but the most important thing is deal with it and then you will start sleeping. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.